So this is a quick intro into division with decimals. We've studied about dividing with decimals already a little bit. What I want you to do is first kind of think about how many different ways can you represent this. So kind of hit the pause button and then take out your pencil and see if you can write that several different ways. Okay, so I'm trusting that you've done that and come back. So obviously we can do the kind of traditional way is just writing 15 divided by 3/10. I can write this kind of using the radicand, so I can do it like this way, 15 on the inside divided by 3/10. I could also write this 15 divided by, instead of 3/10 as a decimal, I could write it as a fraction. And then I could also take this division symbol and I can write it, because we know that this means divide, so I'm going to go 15 divided by 3/10. So there's just 4 different ways I could write that. Now, looking at this problem here, okay, 1 and 2/10 divided by 3/100. You know, I could write it this way. I could write it kind of in the more traditional way that we do the algorithm. So 1 and 2/100 divided by 0.3. Now, a lot of people just say, your teachers say, just move the decimal, you know, because we can't do the division that way. But I want to show you the why behind it. So let's kind of go and write this another way. So let's kind of come up to this method here. So 1 and 2/10 divided by, that's your division symbol, 3/100. So this is the hundredths, and if I multiply 100th times 100, I get 1. So I'm going to take this weird looking fraction that has decimals in it, and I'm going to multiply it by a giant 1 of 100, because this is in the hundredths place. I'm going to multiply by 100. Once again, we've studied about when you multiply by 100, you're getting larger 2 places, so I'm getting larger 2 places. So 3/100 times 100 is 3. Estimating here, 1 times 100 is about 100, so 1.2 times 100 is 120. And I can already kind of see that my answer is going to be 40. But let's kind of go back here and go back to this kind of traditional, the standard algorithm, okay, standard algorithm. That means just the regular way of doing it, algorithm, just the step-by-step method. So a quick little kind of technique I saw when I was down in Costa Rica many years is they would go, oh, like this is in the hundredths place, so I'm going to multiply by 100, and I've got to do the same thing to the inside and the outside, so I'm going to multiply this by 100, and that's going to, so this is what they're doing here. That's what allows me to move the decimal places to, and then I'm going to rewrite it as 3 into 120. Goes in 4 times, so there's where you get your 40. Okay, so just kind of an extra little piece. Now look at this one here, this second problem. -1 and 2/10 divided by 12/100. So what I like to do when I see problems like this is I first kind of ask myself, if it's a negative divided by positive, I know that my final answer is going to be negative. So I kind of like write that ahead of time so that I don't forget that. And then I'm going to, because it's already in this fashion, which is kind of like this one over here, I'm going to just go straight into multiplying it by a giant 1. So this is in the hundredths place. This is 1200, so I'm going to multiply by a giant 1 of 100. A negative times a positive is a negative. 1 times 100 is 100, so this is going to be 120. Once again, I can think about taking my decimal and moving it 2 places, getting bigger, 120. I can think about getting 1200 times 100, getting 2 places bigger. So this is over 12, and now I've got 120 divided by 12 I can see these can both be divided by 12 divided by 12. So I get negative divided by positive is a negative. 120 divided by 12 is 10. 12 divided by 12 is 1. So my overall answer is negative 10. Okay? So once again, it looks kind of weird. Practice, do a couple of them. Come back and watch this video if you need to again. Okay, good luck.